Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Dayton. I'm Christine Wilson. I'm going to be assisting Reverend Linda today. And we're going to begin and try and keep up with the choir and stand and sing Surely the Presence. Remain standing for our mission statement. We welcome all as we create loving community, teach universal truth, practice spiritual principles, and live life abundantly. And our vision prayer. Together we acknowledge that the universe is safely guiding Unity of Dayton into the future. We release all resistance to change, letting go of what was and embracing the new. We believe that the harmonizing power of love is showing us the way to navigate transition. Together we walk in faith as we welcome what and who is to come with open minds and hearts. Together we are willing and we are ready now. Thank you, God, and so it is. Please be seated. As has been the tradition of Unity for over 100 years, we're going to begin with prayer. So please take a deep breath. Breathe in deeply. Breathe in an awareness of God within and all around us. Settle into a conscious moment of appreciation. All that I could ever need may be found here in divine mind. Brimming with divine ideas, overflowing with gratitude, I open my mind and open my heart and pray. With the joy of God in my heart, I give thanks for the fullness of life. My thoughts are uplifted, in tune with spirit. Good moves through me as a nourishing river of gladness and thanksgiving. For family, friends, and a place to call home. My gratitude comes from an overflowing heart. I am assured of divine love. I am blessed with peace, health, and abundance, and so it is. Amen. Our affirmation this morning: I am happy for the abundance of goodness in my life and celebrate and expect more good every day. Let's say that together. I am happy for the abundance of goodness in my life and celebrate and expect more good every day. And now let's stand and sing When I Walk.
Spirit.
word for Sunday, November 6th is balance. I honor life's shifting rhythms. Sometimes trying to balance my schedule, meet my obligations, and even find time for the things I can enjoy leave me scrambling to figure out how to fit it all in. Today, I take my cue from nature and notice the rhythm of the seasons and the tides, the cycle of growth and the order that underlies all things. I appreciate how seamlessly the natural world balances itself and restores itself to harmony. The gift of harmony and balance lives in me. I honor myself when I flow with it instead of forcing my will upon it. I listen to my body's many signals. I rest when I'm tired, eat when I'm hungry, socialize and seek solitude as I need it. As I care for myself, I find balance. And from Ecclesiastes 8, verse 15, for there is nothing better for people under the sun than to eat and drink and enjoy themselves. And we're going to enjoy ourselves, and we're going to stand and sing. Let's see, Mother, Heart of the Mother. Is there anyone here this morning for the very first time? Anybody? Chuck me, hi. Hello. Keep your hands up for just a second. Our ushers have a packet they're going to give to you, a welcome packet. Please stay afterwards. We have Reiki we'll talk about later. Welcome to stay for some refreshments, get to know us. Thank you for being here. And I also want to welcome back Reverend Linda, who's become one of our old favorites. And after some more fabulous music from our choir, she will be taking over the platform.
Are there any blessed folks in here? Every time I turn around, He blesses me. Yeah. Every time I turn around, He's so blessing me.
Good morning. And that's how you express gratitude and thanksgiving. I have been a minister almost more than 20 years. And probably in every single November, I have spent the entire month speaking on gratitude and thanksgiving. You only get to hear it once. It's probably all those horns of plenty and cornucopias that we colored in grade school. Because every time, yes, right here. Because every time I think of Thanksgiving and gratitude, that is what I think of. And this is the time of year when we gather the harvest, including the leaves in my backyard. We have this huge tree in our backyard. And while Bill was gone to Florida last week, I actually mowed the leaves, which were probably this thick. Needless to say, it didn't work very well. It kind of looked like I was a farmer getting ready to bale hay, and I lined them up in a windrow. Well, when the wind came in yesterday, it blew them up against the house in the road, about this high. Now, the only problem with this is we don't have leaf pickup. So I'm going to have to spread them out again so we can run over them. But I am grateful because they're not in as big a space. I will also say that when you have to mark your two most important pages, that you probably have too many notes. I have to tell you a funny story. When I started the center in Cincinnati, I was actually living in West Carrollton and a very new minister, like I had graduated the year before. I forgot my notes 3 Sundays in a row. I finally said, okay, God, I got the message. And I'm surprised I got up here today. Because if I think something is in my notes is very important, they either don't make it to the church, or when I was speaking in Cincinnati, they never made it off my desk. This was God's message to me that I am just the voice. It is my job to do the research, and it's God's job to tell me what to say. And I'm grateful for this. I can't tell you how many times I've been in the middle of a sentence in the pulpit and thought, God, I sure hope you know where we're going, because I have no idea. And believe me, I'm a control freak. It takes a lot to be able to do that. We're going to speak on gratitude and thanksgiving today. And when I was thinking about this, I thought, gee, what exactly does gratitude and thanksgiving mean? There are words that we use together a lot in these teachings, but what exactly do they mean? I went online and found Webster's definition of gratitude. I want Thanksgiving first. Thanksgiving, a consciousness of benefit received, an expression of thankfulness and well-pleased. So it's a consciousness of the benefit we have received. And gratitude is the quality of thankful and readiness to show appreciation and to return kindness. So thankful and thanksgiving is recognizing what we're thankful for. And gratitude is being able to express that and return it with thankfulness. Ernest Holmes says, an attitude of praise and thanksgiving is salutatory. They not only lighten the consciousness, uplifting it out of sadness and depression, they elevate consciousness to a point of acceptance. Praise and thanksgiving are affirmations of the divine presence the divine abundance, and the divine givingness. It is only when we live affirmatively that we are happy. It is only when we recognize that the universe is built on affirmations that we become happy. Myrtle Fillmore, one of the co-founders of Unity, called gratitude and thanksgiving qualities of the soul. And Charles Fillmore said, gratitude and thanksgiving are both necessary in demonstrating prosperity through the divine law. Be grateful to God and thankful to the friends who God has used to supply you. All metaphysicians have found by experience that being thankful for what they have increases the inflow. Gratitude is a great mind magnet. When it is expressed from a spiritual standpoint, it is powerfully augmented. So gratitude is the way that we embrace and accept all that God has to offer. And we live a life filled with things to be thankful for and gratitude. But how often are we aware of it? I realized when I was preparing for this Sunday that I actually spoke on gratitude in September. I'm not sure whether it was here or at another place where I speak. But I thought that's interesting that I would be called to speak on the same topic twice in 3 months. But gratitude is something that we need to be very conscious of. And after I spoke on gratitude that time, I actually started doing what I call a gratitude journal at that point, because I had encouraged all the people I spoke to at that point to do it. And I found this amazing article on the internet this week on a website called mindful.org. And its hashtag is mindful, healthy mind, healthy body. And this is probably the best article I have ever read on gratitude. And that is saying something. It was amazing. But what I figured out when I read it was that I wasn't keeping a gratitude journal. I was keeping a gratitude list. Because I would make a maybe 1 or 2 word list of what I was grateful for. And I was doing 10 a day. And something felt like it was missing. And I thought, I'm not doing this quite right. And I realized after I read this article that a gratitude journal, you actually include why you're grateful. And you journal about the gratefulness of it. And I started doing that. And it felt more like what I was supposed to do. So truly, gratitude is one of those things. Thankfulness and gratitude is something that's around us all the time. We have to make a conscious effort to be aware of it. And that's one of the reasons I encourage you to make either a gratitude list or a gratitude journal. And if you make the list, at least say to yourself when you're putting someone or something on it. My husband is with me today because I told him he was about 30% of my talk, and he wanted to know what I was going to say about it. But early in my journey, a guest speaker came to the Dayton Center for Spiritual Living on Valentine's Day. And he spoke on love. And this has probably been 25 years ago, and I still remember this sermon. But he spoke on love and the small ways that we can express love to people that we don't even think about it. And one of the examples he used as a great way to express love was making sure there was always toilet paper on the toilet paper roll. And he spent the entire service talking about this. And it made a big, I remember it, probably because he used such a common example and he used it so thoroughly. But one of the things I am extremely grateful to my husband for doing is he makes darn sure there's always toilet paper on the toilet paper roll in all 3 bathrooms and that there's extra. And I am extremely appreciative, and I don't always tell him. See, that's the thing about gratitude and Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is recognizing what we're grateful for, and gratitude is being able to express it. And when we don't express to our loved ones, our family, our coworkers, how grateful we are for what they do, we're cutting ourselves and them off of a great experience. Because what I realized when I did this lesson last Wednesday, and if you go online and listen to it, it will sound nothing like this, was expressing that gratitude, not even so much to Bill, but to the other people. I felt good. I could feel energy and love and joy in my very system. And when I don't express that gratitude, I cut myself off for being grateful and having gratitude. And I cut him off from experiencing my gratitude. One of the things the article said was that expressing gratitude to our spouses and partners is one way to really help a relationship. Because we are focusing on something that is good in our relationship instead of focusing on the things that may not work as well as we want it to. And when we express that good, it's easier to see the good. And that's one of the reasons I encourage you to keep a gratitude journal or list or something. And I really encourage you to write it down. Many of you may think, well, I know I'm grateful and I express gratitude and I know why I'm doing it. But there's something about writing it down on a piece of paper or even typing it into your computer that somehow activates my brain in a different way and I remember it more. And actually, one of the things they found is that expressing gratitude and thanksgiving activates the same part of the brain as where our emotions are and our social interaction. Many of us, through our experience with COVID over the last few years, have cut out a lot of social activity. We don't spend as much time with others. We are more careful of how we interact with other people. So we cut off one of the ways to activate joy in our system. And by remembering to express gratitude to each other, we activate that part of ourselves, as Mildred Fillmore said, that part of our soul that is thanksgiving and gratitude. And it helps us to experience it at a greater level. And when you think about gratitude, it doesn't have to be the big stuff. It can be something as great as something as simple as being grateful for the cup of coffee that you drank this morning. Or being grateful that you have a nice, clean, shiny toothbrush. Or a nice, warm bed to crawl into at night. Or friends. It's not the big things. And it's not necessarily things either. That's what I was trying to get to in my gratitude journal. Is what are the feelings that I'm grateful for? What are the feelings that I want to magnify to a greater level, that I want to be aware of so I'm conscious of it happening? One of the things I do is I thank lights when they change quickly. because that's important to me. And I am very thankful when the light's on the exit, I get off to go home. If it's not blinking a time, you're probably going to sit there at least a minute before you get to move. And patience, it's not my major virtue. I will admit it. I can be very impatient. So when it actually changes when I get there quickly, I say thank you out loud. And there are other simple things that I say thank you for, that I'm always glad that they happen. I'm thankful that my husband is very appreciative for most of the meals I cook. He enjoys most of them. At least he says he does. He's very good about saying thank you. But according to John Kabat-Zinn, the little things, the little moments, they aren't little. One of the things that I have heard, and I can't remember it exactly, is that men and women are very different on how they appreciate things. And men will try to make one big effort, and women really appreciate the little efforts more than the one big effort. They want a whole bunch of little ones, not so much one big one, which, again, that's one thing I'm so grateful for Bill for doing the toilet paper and making sure that my favorite beverage is always stocked in the refrigerator, whether it's healthy or not. But gratitude is just talking about it in this arena. My body feels different. It totally feels different. And one of the things they say about gratitude and thanksgiving and living in a space of thanksgiving and gratitude is that it can strengthen our immune system. It can improve our sleep patterns. It allows us to feel optimistic and experience more joy and pleasure, being more helpful and generous, and feeling less lonely and isolated. Why would we not want to experience something that is basically free, basically takes no more time than what we're doing anyway, and truly helps us to experience life in a more joyful, pleasant way? We have been given a great gift, and that's the ability to feel thankful and to express gratitude. And we become, and I'm speaking of myself here when I say we, I can become so complacent and so hooked into living life that I forget. And the obvious things just float on by. Oh, that was nice. And I don't say anything. So what I am encouraging each one of you to do today is to become consciously aware of what you're thankful for and when you feel gratitude. And if you need to say thank you to somebody, say thank you. Actually, I challenge you every day this week, find at least one thing to be thankful for and express that gratitude to whoever has brought it in. So how do we become more aware of gratitude? Because it's so easy to slide into just kind of expecting it and just letting it slide on by. And this is some of the things to be specific for if you decide to do a gratitude journey too. The first one is be as specific as possible. If I write down experience or a person in my new journal that I just started keeping, I try to explain what it is that I'm grateful for and why I'm grateful, and to make it specific in that case. Include the details. Go into a lot of details. And you may find as you go into more details of what you're grateful for, that you have an even deeper experience of gratitude. And get personal. And folks, when you think about a person that you're grateful for, get personal about what you are grateful about that person for. Recall moments of gratitude. And then maybe ordinary events and the values that are expressed to you by this person that are important to you. And this one I don't know whether I agree with, but it says remember the bad things. Sometimes it's necessary to remember the bad things to be thankful we're not still in them. 8 years ago, Bill and I had just moved into the house we're in. And 28 days after we moved in, we were flooded out to the point that they had to get the house to the studs. And we were out of the house we were only out of it for 4 months. We should have been out of it 6 months. But it was probably one of the worst experiences I've ever had. An experience I'm extremely grateful for. We had been forced to have flood insurance. I fought it tooth and nail. I lost. Thank you, God. So we had a lot of money to redo the house. It had been so long since the area flooded that our next door neighbors had been notified that they could cancel their flood insurance. I got the letter that it was canceled on Monday and their home flooded on Wednesday. But it was, some of them are, the house had not had anything done to it since the middle 70s. It needed remodeling. The gold wallpaper, I couldn't be thankful for. But, we were able to do that. And if I had not been as aware as I am on a spiritual level, I don't know that I would have ever appreciated and been thankful for some of the amazing things that happened. The guy that was the lead on our team that was redoing the house, he and I became very good friends, and I actually did his wedding in the middle of this. And it got to the point that his boss would pull him off for another job, and he would send me a text, and I would call the lead guy on the project, and he would be there in 2 hours. So, I was grateful for that he was willing to do that, and that we had the kind of relationship that made that possible. But I had to be aware that there was good in this. If it's all God and it's all good, no matter what's going on, there's some good in there if we look hard enough to find it. And sometimes all I can do is remind myself, it is all God. Whatever is going on right now is all God. And it will be okay. It is okay. And then I look for whatever it is I'm to be grateful for and to remember. There are two key components that I've talked around but not exactly stated about gratitude. And they are, we affirm the good that we receive. And two, we acknowledge the role others have played in providing our life's goodness. There are very few things that happen in our lives that don't involve someone else. I think it was Mark Spitz, and I could be wrong. It was one of the Olympic athletes that in an interview after he received a lot of awards, made a statement similar to, I did it all myself. I did it all by myself. Negating his coaches, the Olympic Committee, his parents, and all the people who had supported him over his life. I really, and I didn't keep up with it real well, but I really have had the impression over time, he realized what a huge mistake he made in saying that. Yes, he was the one that jumped off the block into the water, and he was the one that swam well enough to get the medals. But for 10 or 20 years before that, there were a whole bunch of people who helped him do it. And when we look at our lives and where we are right now, there's a whole bunch of people who helped us be here. I've had several ministers who have been an important part of my life, and I learned a great deal from all of them. Some of the things I learned, I am very grateful to be able to do, and some of the things I've learned, I was very grateful not to do. But I still learn. I still am very grateful to them for what they did in my life and how they helped me. We're going to end with a meditation. And this meditation is actually something to do when you're having a hard time finding something to be grateful for. Now, I know all of you are very grateful people and very thankful people, so you may never have that experience, but some of the rest of us may. So what I want you to do is to get comfortable in your chair and just breathe in and breathe out and feel the power, the passion, the wholeness that is God, that is Spirit. And just allow it to fill your very essence. And just breathe in and breathe out. And just use your breath to anchor you in this place. And now I want you to bring to your mind and just pay particular attention to your breath as you bring your shoulders down and allow yourself to focus on gratitude. Just breathe it in and breathe it out. And now I want you to think about a sight that brings gratitude to you. Maybe it's something that you smile about. Maybe it's something as simple as someone's smile, or a beautiful mountain, or the vastness of the ocean. Something that brings a deep feeling of gratitude into your very soul as you see it in your mind's eye. And maybe it brings a smile to your lips. But you see what you're grateful for. Maybe it's a pet that's always elated to see you. Or your spouse or your child or your grandchild's smile. Or your grandson's home run. And now I want you to shift to a sense you appreciate. As you continue working with your senses, I want you to take time to appreciate your sense of smell and bring to your mind an aroma that helps you to feel gratitude and thanksgiving. Maybe it's the table on Thanksgiving Day. Maybe it's the smell of a bakery or a Christmas tree or just a spring rain. Whatever that smell allows you to feel gratitude and thanksgiving, bring it into your being. And now I want you to think about your sense of sound. And think about what you hear that brings gratitude to you. Maybe it's a gentle rain on the roof, or a beautiful song, or the giggle of a child, or the laughter of your partner. Whatever sound allows you to experience gratitude and thanksgiving, bring it into your being now. And now I want you to think about your sense of touch. Think about how grateful you are for your sense of touch. That ability to touch a loved one or to hug someone or to feel the texture of a fuzzy blanket or the soft fur of a beloved pet. Think about all the things that you're grateful that you're able to touch and feel and know. And now I want you to slowly open your eyes and look around in this room. Look at the people in this room. Look at the wonderful gospel choir that brings us beautiful sounds, as well as they're nice to look at too. And we just feel the joy and gratitude and thanksgiving. And I truly challenge you this week to find at least one thing you're grateful for every day and express that thanksgiving and gratitude to someone else. Thank you.
This is our opportunity now to show our gratitude, our support, our appreciation for this spiritual community, for our spiritual home. As the ushers come forward, I invite you to take out your tithes and offerings. Give the ushers a moment here. Hold them in your hand. And let's affirm together as we release them. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Gratitude before me, gratitude.
Gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful.
Reverend Linda, will you bless and accept our offerings?
I have my phone in my hand because there are a lot of us who give electronically, and I'm working very hard at remembering to bless electronic giving too. And so we thank you, God. Thank you for this time together. Thank you for these tithes and offerings. We know that as we give, so we receive. So we give from a place of thanksgiving and gratitude, knowing that what we send forth returns multiplied 10 times or more. We give thanks for all those who are here today. We give thanks for all those online and for the offerings received electronically. We give thanks for all that God is, which is all things. And knowing it is good and knowing it is done. In gratitude and thanksgiving, I say thank you, God, and so it is.
Amen. As we've been talking about, November is a month of Thanksgiving. So today, we want to say thanks to an unsung hero we owe a debt of gratitude to, David Hall. David has been our go-to guy for all our technical needs. He shows extreme patience and understanding when he's dealing with our questions. And all his work and time that you have given to volunteer, David, is very much appreciated. And I gotta say personally, thank you very much. Today is also Reiki Sunday, so please, you're invited to stay after the service and enjoy a few snacks while we set up the Reiki circle, and Eden will have her sound bath. So then join us at 12:30 for a Reiki healing circle. It lasts about 45 minutes, but it's probably the most relaxing healing thing you're going to do all week. Next Sunday after the service, there's a really important ushers meeting and training. All ushers, please attend this meeting. And anyone who has expressed an interest or is interested in becoming an usher, you're asked to attend the meeting also. You'll meet with Victoria Heron in the sanctuary at 12:15. She has some really important changes she needs to tell you about. And we have an immediate need for volunteers to learn how to operate the soundboard. Judy is all alone now, and we can't ask her to do this every single week by herself. So we need somebody else to learn so that, they can give her a week or two off every once in a while. Talk to Judy afterwards or to Victoria if you're interested in finding out more about it. Okay, it's almost here. You've been hearing me and other people up here for months talking about this craft bazaar. Well, it's only got 6 more days and it's here. And we have vendors from all over the Miami Valley, a variety of crafts. This place is going to be full from corner to corner because we've sold out all the possible spaces we can use. Okay, we have vendors from all over. It's not just people you know from here. I don't know, I've got people from Trotwood, Hoover Heights. They're just everywhere, and we've got all kinds of great items. The event, of course, is a fundraiser for Unity of Dayton, so all proceeds will go into our general operating fund. Please come out, bring your family, bring your friends to support the vendors and the spiritual center, of course. And if you are one of the people who is going to be helping to either set up or clean up, we're going to start, men are going to get here around 5 o'clock to do the heavy lifting, but some of us are going to get here more like 4 o'clock, maybe even earlier, to get going with the decorating and get things ready so the men can just jump right in and get those tables up for us. All this sanctuary has to be cleared out. And then if you're going to do cleanup on Saturday, 4 o'clock, it's over, and we need to quickly clean up because Douglas Bluefeather will be setting up, because Douglas Bluefeather will be our guest speaker and musician on Sunday, the 13th. So busy weekend. Okay, now, if there's anything else you need to know about, take your brochure home. Everything that you need to know about anything is in there, so you've got all your information right there. Just take it home with you. And now we're going to stand, and we're going to say goodbye to the internet and say you are the light of the world. Thank you for being here. We're very grateful.